You know that feeling, right? That little buzz of excitement when you've ordered something online. Maybe it's, I don't know, that new gadget you've had your eye on or a thoughtful gift. You hit order, and then the wait begins. That kind of thrilling suspense. Days later, maybe you hear the delivery truck outside, that familiar rumble, or you get that little ping on your phone. Your package has been delivered. It's almost like a ritual now, isn't it, in our digital lives? But what happens when that notification isn't quite right? What if it's about a package that, well, never existed? Or worse, what if it's a message designed to put you at risk? Today, we're doing a deep dive into something that honestly touches almost everyone in our digital world. We're looking at the pervasive and, let's face it, often tricky landscape of delivery and shipping scams.
That's right. And these aren't just, minor annoyances or simple missed deliveries. They're often really sophisticated forms of digital deception. They're cunningly designed to steal our information and, yeah, ultimately our money. So our mission today is really to pull back the curtain on these schemes. We'll dissect their common tactics, and most importantly, we want to arm you with the insights and the practical tools you need to spot them and stay safe.
Exactly. So whether you're a seasoned online shopper, maybe you're gearing up for the big holiday season rush, or you're just curious about staying safe with all these deliveries coming and going, this deep dive is definitely for you. We want to give you those aha moments, those actionable insights, but, without drowning you in jargon. Okay, so where do we even start with understanding these scams? They seem to be everywhere.
Well, fundamentally, these are a form of phishing attack. That's the core of it. Scammers get really good at creating fake emails or text messages. They make them look like they're coming straight from legitimate companies, the big names. FedEx, DHL, UPS, even the U.S. Postal Service, their main goal, to create this immediate sense of urgency. They might say, oh, you missed a delivery, or there's an issue with your address, or maybe there's a sudden fee you have to pay right now to get your package. And this pressure, it's designed specifically to trick you into clicking on malicious links. These links then lead to counterfeit websites that can look incredibly real. And the consequences, well, they can be pretty far-reaching. Once you land on one of those fake sites, they'll often ask for sensitive info, personal stuff, financial details, could be your login for Amazon, say, or your full credit card number, sometimes even your social security or national identity number. And all of that, of course, gets stolen. In some really nasty cases, just clicking the link itself can stealthily install malware on your device. This malware can then, quietly capture passwords, banking details, other sensitive files, enabling even more data theft later on. You might not even know it's happening.
Okay, wow. Here's where it gets really interesting. So it's not just about a package being maybe a day late or some small delivery hiccup. It sounds like a direct, almost premeditated attack on our personal data, our financial security. That really does up the stakes quite a bit. Are we seeing totally new types of scams popping up, or are these mostly just clever twists on older tricks?
That's a really good question. And while, yes, new variations always appear, a key element across almost all of them is really sophisticated impersonation. Scammers are, frankly, masters of disguise. They mimic the official courier services USPS, FedEx, UPS, DHL, Amazon, right down to the logos, the colors, the official-sounding language. They use surprisingly slick techniques to make their fake messages look incredibly authentic. It's getting harder, honestly, to tell the fake from the real thing sometimes. So let's start with the digital stuff, the lures. We see a huge number of parcel delivery text scams that's often called smishing, SMS phishing, and of course, traditional email phishing too. These messages usually claim there's an issue, like missed delivery or problem with shipping preferences or urgent reschedule needed. Imagine getting a text. Urgent. Package returning to sender in 2 hours unless you click this link and now W. That immediate panic, that's exactly what they want. They want you to react without thinking. And almost always, these messages have those malicious links or attachments. That's the gateway. Then you've got the fake tracking websites and the demands for payment. These fraudulent sites are carefully built to look exactly like the real courier portals. They've got the design, the tracking fields, even fake customer service info. And then victims are prompted maybe to enter tracking info, but also sensitive data or to pay fake fees. Things like customs charges, redelivery costs, storage fees, stuff like that. Now, this is a really crucial point and a huge red flag. Legitimate courier services do not ask for payment via text or email like this, especially not through weird, untraceable methods like gift cards, wire transfers, or crypto. No way. If they need payment, it's almost always through their official app or a secure portal on their verified website. A classic trick we see is scammers using a slightly altered URL, like www.usps1.com instead of the real www.uspecs.com. Just one character off, but it makes all the difference.
Okay, what's fascinating here is sometimes these scams involve getting packages you didn't even order. I always kind of thought brushing was maybe a bit weird, but harmless. Maybe even like, oh, cool, free stuff. But you're saying it's actually a big red flag. Why is that?
Yeah, that's a great point, and it shows how sneaky some scams are. Brushing seems like a free gift, right? What's really happening is third-party sellers ship really low-cost items, like a cheap plastic ring or maybe a packet of seeds, something tiny, to random addresses, to people like you. But the real goal isn't generosity. It's about creating a verifiable shipping record. That allows them to then post fake, glowing, positive reviews under your name to boost their own seller ratings and sales on places like Amazon or eBay. So while you might think, freebie, it's actually a massive warning sign. It means scammers have got your personal info name, address, and they've tested it. It's live, it's usable, and they can potentially use that info later for identity theft or other, much more serious fraud. It's basically a validation check for them.
Wow, good. That makes a disturbing amount of sense. So it's not all digital then, right? Some of this stuff happens right on our doorstep. In the physical world, I'm curious how these digital attacks kind of translate into real-world deception.
Oh, absolutely. Beyond the screen, there are definitely physical scams we need to be aware of. The most straightforward, obviously, is porch piracy. Just simple theft of packages left unattended. Sadly, it's incredibly common. But then you get more sophisticated stuff, like the parcel swap scam. This is where maybe a rogue delivery driver or someone working inside the warehouse replaces a high-value item with something worthless, but something of similar size and weight, crucially. Then they reattach the correct shipping label, mark it delivered. Imagine ordering, say, an expensive new phone, and you open the box to find a brick or a cheap toy. It happens. Sometimes drivers just falsely mark packages as delivered and steal them outright, planning to sell them later. And then there are the fake delivery tags, the door hangers. Criminals leave these fake notices looking just like the official ones on your door. They instruct you to call some fraudulent number to reschedule, and that leads to them asking for personal info or payment. Again, legit carriers just don't do that. They use official apps, QR codes, their verified websites for tracking and rescheduling. They won't ask you to call some random number printed on a flimsy piece of paper left on your door. Beyond that, we've even seen some pretty concerning driver-based scams on platforms like, Uber Eats or DoorDash, food delivery, things like drivers taking the free item from a buy one, get one free deal and just keeping it. Or maybe subtly removing a few items from prepackaged goods, like taking a couple of oranges out of a big bag before they deliver it. Or sometimes just failing to deliver the whole order, especially if it includes high-value stuff like alcohol and keeping it themselves. It really shows that, trust can be exploited at pretty much every step of the delivery process.
So we've talked a lot about individuals, us consumers. But I'm wondering, does this kind of thing impact businesses too? Or is it mostly just people like us getting targeted?
That's a really important question. And unfortunately, businesses are very much in the crosshairs.
Yes.
In fact, some industries are particularly vulnerable. We see scams hitting luxury resellers pretty hard, for instance. Some reports say up to 15% have experienced or narrowly avoided sophisticated scams like ghost shipments. That's where, like, a supplier or a fraudulent shipper claims goods were sent and delivered, provides fake tracking, but nothing actually arrives, or maybe just an empty box does.
Cool.
Yeah, imagine a high-end watch dealer expecting a $10,000 delivery and they get an empty box, or maybe a cheap replica inside. That's devastating for a small business. E-commerce sellers also deal with brushing, like we discussed, but also a lot of chargeback abuse. That's where buyers falsely claim they never got the item or that it was damaged just to get a refund after they've already received it. There are even really specific scams targeting, say, classic car shippers. Fake shipping companies pop up, advertise ridiculously low rates. They lure victims into paying upfront for a service that just never happens. The card never gets picked up. And yeah, we should also mention freight forwarding scams, return fraud, where people send back empty boxes or junk for full refunds. It's a constant battle for businesses, really, securing their supply chains.
It's genuinely eye-opening. So what does this all mean for you, our listener, when that next delivery notification pops up? How can we actually arm ourselves against these tactics? How do we tell the real deal from the fake? Let's talk about those key warning signs.
Okay, the good news is there are clear red flags. Things you can look for to spot a scam, hopefully, before you click anything. First off, any unsolicited communication about a delivery should immediately raise suspicion, especially if you aren't actually expecting a package or maybe it mentions a delivery company you don't normally use. Legitimate carriers usually only send notifications if you've specifically signed up for them through their official website or app. Second, Definitely watch out for urgency and pressure tactics. Scammers love to make you panic. Messages insisting you need to act immediately to avoid losing a package or getting fined or having it returned, that's a classic sign. That feeling of, oh no, I have to click this right now, that's exactly what they're counting on. They want to rush you. Third, be extremely cautious about any requests for sensitive information. We're talking national identity numbers, social security numbers, full bank account details, complete credit card numbers. Legitimate delivery services just won't ask for this stuff via an unsolicited text or email link. They don't need it to deliver your package. Next, always scrutinize suspicious links and attachments. This is probably your biggest defense. Before you click anything, hover your mouse over the link if you're on a computer to see the actual web address it goes to. Look really closely for misspellings, extra numbers, weird domain names. Like I said, amazonsupport.co is not amazon.com. And definitely avoid opening attachments in unexpected emails. That's a super common way they try to sneak malware onto your system. Also, just pay attention to the general quality. Poor grammar and generic greetings are big giveaways. Official messages from big companies are usually professionally written if it starts with "Dear customer" instead of your name, or it's full of typos and awkward phrasing. Probably a scam. Here's a subtle but really telling sign: uniform link destinations. If you get an email and every single link in it, even the contact us or the unsubscribe link, all point to the exact same suspicious webpage, that's a dead giveaway for phishing. Real emails have different links for different actions. And finally, meticulously check the sender information. Look at the email address or the phone number it came from. Scammers often use addresses that look similar but aren't quite right. Like day@fedex-support.com instead of the real a@fedex.com. Or the text comes from a weird non-local number claiming a local delivery issue. These small discrepancies, they're often the biggest clues if you just take that extra second to look.
Those are fantastic, really practical tips. Things that go beyond just the obvious stuff. Okay, so now we know the red flags. How do we actively protect ourselves? How do we stay safe in this, well, pretty tricky landscape? This is where the rubber meets the road. All right.
Absolutely. And the number one strategy, I really can't stress this enough, is to verify everything through official channels. If you get a message that feels even slightly off, do not click any links in it. Don't call any numbers it provides. Just don't engage with it directly. Instead, take a breath. Open a new browser window. Go directly to the carrier's official website by typing in the address you know is correct, maybe you have it bookmarked, or find it through a search engine. Log in there. Or find their official customer service number on their website, not the suspicious message, and call them directly to ask if there's really an issue. Another really helpful thing is to use the carrier's own notification services. Many big companies offer free services, like USPS Informed Delivery is a great example here in the US. It emails you daily with images of your incoming mail and package updates. That helps you know what's genuinely on its way and what notifications are legitimate. Also, always enable package tracking and delivery confirmation, especially for anything valuable. If you can, opt for a signature requirement. It just adds that extra layer of security. For really valuable items, think about securing shipments with insurance. It protects you against loss, damage, or theft. It's often worth the small extra cost. And crucially, just guard your personal information fiercely. Never ever provide sensitive personal or financial data in response to an unsolicited message. Just don't do it. And if you think you have encountered a scam, please report it. You can report it to authorities like the Federal Trade Commission, that's reportfraud.ftc.gov, or the Better Business Bureau's scam tracker, and also report it directly to the company that was being impersonated. Most have dedicated fraud reporting pages like FedEx does. Your report genuinely helps protect others. Oh, and a good pro tip for online shopping. Think about using virtual credit card numbers if your bank or card issuer offers them. These are like temporary, often single-use numbers that mask your actual card details. So if the merchant site gets breached, your real number isn't exposed. And definitely enable multi-factor authentication, or MFA, wherever you can.
Right, the two-step verification thing.
Exactly. That extra code texted to your phone, or using an authenticator app or a fingerprint scan, it adds a massive layer of security to your online accounts. Especially for accounts linked to shipping or payments, even if someone steals your password, MFA can stop them from getting in. And if you suspect a seller, maybe on a marketplace, is involved in fraud, contact the marketplace like OfferUp, eBay, Amazon immediately. They might be able to step in. And maybe the most important thing, educate yourself and others. Keep up with the latest scam trends. They change all the time. Be especially vigilant during peak shopping seasons like the holidays, because scam activity always ramps up then. And share what you learn. Talk to your friends, your family. That collective awareness is powerful.
This deep dive has really hammered home that vigilance is just. It's absolutely key in our super connected world today. Every package notification, every email, every text, It could be an opportunity for fraudsters. It makes you realize how much we need that constant awareness, just navigating our daily digital lives. But hopefully, with the insights we've shared today, you feel better equipped, better able to recognize those subtle red flags and, protect yourself and your information.
This whole conversation raises a pretty important con for the future. As delivery methods keep evolving, we're talking drones, self-driving delivery vehicles, all sorts of new tech. What new vulnerabilities might pop up, things we haven't even thought of yet? How can we start thinking proactively about securing not just our packages, but the whole delivery infrastructure itself, and the personal data that's so tangled up in it all? It's definitely something worth keeping in the back of our minds as technology races ahead.
That is a great thought to chew on as we wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of delivery and shipping scams. Stay safe out there, everyone, and happy and secure receiving.